Hey guys, Marshall here from Limited Resources, and we're drafting Theros. Got a pretty nice little pack here with Curse of the Swine, which is actually quite strong. There's also a Leaf Crown Dryad, Nessian Courser, Sedge Scorpion combo down here, even a Vulpine Goliath, which will make the cut. There's also a Wingsteed Rider over here, though, and a Favored Hoplite. So there's a lot of great stuff going on. I'm just going to take this Curse of the Swine. I think it's really good, but also, like, it's the only good blue card in the pack, and there's, like, Wingsteed Rider, Favored Hoplite, God's Willing, plus 3 decent green cards here, and I think maybe that's enough to tie-break it over to just taking the blue card out of the pack here. All right, what do we have now? Well, there's a bunch of really good cards here as well. Wow, these packs have been stacked up. Horizon Chimera, Grey Merchant, Lash of the Whip, Baleful Eidolon are all sweet. There's a bunch of other playable cards here as well. Borderland Minotaur, Disciple, Tactics, Ordeal's fine, Annul, whatever. Benthic Giant, maybe not so much, but really good stuff here overall. Grey Merchant, probably the most outwardly powerful card in the pack. I love Baleful Eidolon. I'll play as many of those as I can get. And Lash of the Whip is a card that you certainly run. I'm already in blue. I could take the Horizon Chimera and try to start sniping some of these green cards, but I'm just going to go for Grey Merchant. Like, why get fancy here? Card's awesome. All right, this one's a little worse. Actually, it's just kind of a lot worse, but no black cards in the pack, literally, so that's out. Blue cards in the pack, not very good. So we're going to be going off course here a little bit, and I'm thinking I'm just going to take this Leaf Crown Dryad. I just think it's the best card in the pack here. Maybe Titan Strength is up there. Battlewise Hoplite's pretty good too. Like, we could take that. We could take Battlewise Hoplite. It's also an option. I'm going to take Dryad, though. I just want to kind of see where the packs end up sort of sorting themselves out here. Looks like black is being cut pretty hard, so this Grey Merchant might be a false path for us. We might not want to walk down that particular path. I'm going to take this Voyaging Satyr here. I like it a little better than Sealock Monster, I think, and well, I mean, I like being in green. I certainly don't mind it. A lot of good green cards in the first two packs as well, so we might get something back. All right, so what have we? Crowan Hoplite, no. Burnished Heart, probably not. Feral Vacation's okay. Rage of Perforos, Viper's Kiss. I mean, there's nothing really strong directionally here. There's some reasonable magic cards. I mean, Rage of Perforos is fine. Not great. Feral Invocation's fine, too. Viper's Kiss, whatever. I mean, these are playable cards. Burnished Heart is, too. I guess I'll just take this Burnished Heart. It probably has the best chance of making the deck, I guess, since I still just don't quite know where I'm going. All right, so there's this Sip of Hemlock here, which is a card I'm definitely interested in. There's also an Observant, I'll say it, and I like that card a lot. But I don't know that I want to go into white for an Observant, I'll say it right now. So I'm just going to take this Sip and kind of hope that maybe this green-black works out or something like that. Yeah, nothing really giving us a strong signal here. I'll take this Warrior's Lesson. Just any of these cards that have that cost 1 mana, instant speed, target 2, basically this and Tactics. There's an argument to be made for them being playable without text other than target 2 creatures. It's just you, of course, need the right deck to make that work. Hunt the Hunter. Yeah, none of these are good. So Wave Crash Triton or Fate Foretold. I'll just take this Triton. All right, so green definitely still looking open. There's a Sedge Scorpion and a Vulpine Goliath. I'm going to slam this Scorpion here. There were a lot of cards in that pack, though, but if we can pick up like one of these Nylea's Disciples, I'll be pretty happy to be in green here. All right, well, that didn't happen. Really not much here. Annul, Benthic Giant, Tactics are all fine. Shredding Winds might make the board for us, so I'll take it here. I don't think we're going to be in blue, so I don't think that any of these are really great for us. I guess it's possible we're in blue. Like if we ditch black. Sure, I'll take Tactics here. I don't really know where we're at yet, so I guess I'll take this one just because it's more likely to get run. I do feel like we're in green, but the pack was a little weird. Nothing really jumped out at me there. So we've got some work to do here for sure. All right, well, think Viper's Kiss probably has a better chance of making the cut. I mean, being black-green is something I'm totally open to doing. We could even splash something with Burnished Heart if we want, but splashing Curse of the Swine and Tactics and Wavecrash Triton, none of those are worth a splash here, really, unless our deck takes a drastically different turn. Ooh, Agent of the Fates. All of a sudden, these things look a lot better. What else is in this pack? Another Gray Merchant. So that's kind of unlucky that they're both in the same pack, but I'm going to take Agent of the Fates. It's one of my favorite rares. Sea God's Revenge is a card I love as well. I think it's really, really good. Magma Jet, less so. I think it's fine. Like, I don't cut it for my red decks or anything stupid like that, but I don't take it very highly either. Prescient Chimera, Observant Althea. There's some solid stuff here. Hopefully we can wheel this Scourge Mark. I think that would probably be the best case scenario for us. I mean, the best case would be Gray Merchant, but that's not happening. All right, so let's take Agent of the Fates. Let's hide these blue cards, and let's see if we can make... we've got a Warrior's Lesson. That hits this thing. Viper's Kiss on your Agent of Fates. Hey, you do what you got to do. Maybe we can pick up some of the green heroic creatures or something along those lines and start to kind of go off here a little bit. I'm going to take Disciple of Phoenix out of this pack. It's between these two Disciples here. With one Gray Merchant, with any luck, we'll pick up one more Gray Merchant throughout the course of the draft. I wouldn't count on it, but I'm hoping to. And I like Disciple quite a bit for this. Excuse me, Disciple of Phoenix quite a bit for that plan. Nylea's Disciple's really good too, though. Certainly don't hate that card at all. What do we have? Read the Bones, Nemesis Immortals, Agent of Horizon, Savage Surge. Savage Surge is a card we hope to wheel, but I'm going to slam Nemesis here. This card's actually just quite strong. Certainly will make the cut in the deck. A Nessian Asp, a Warrior's Lesson, Invocation, Courser, another Courser. I'm going to take the Asp here. I think it's one of the best 5-drops in the set, and I just love it. All right, now we get to the decisions. It feels like we're in the right spot, though. Take a look at this pack. Black, green, not playable, but playable. So I feel like we've settled in a nice spot here. So the question becomes, well, what does our deck actually want? Freakus Mender, I'm not going to take here, even though I really like it, because I think it has the best chance of wheeling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's going to be 3 cards left in the pack. Probably won't be there, but there is a chance just because people, if you're not in these colors, you can't use it. So it leaves us with Emissary, Staunch-Hearted Warrior, Cavern Lampad. I'm going to take the Emissary here. I think that it's probably the strongest one on its own out of these cards. In fact, it definitely is. And also, it does have Bestow for a reasonable 6, so we can kind of go off with Agent of the Fates or whatever, so I'm going to take it. This thing looks really good in our deck, by the way. Would run as many of those as possible. I wish I had that Baleful Eidolon. Dark Betrayal, no. Here's another Disciple, and there's also an Agent of Horizons. Yeah, I'll take this Disciple. Yeah, Leaf Crown Dryads, Sedge Scorpions, and Baleful Eidolons are the way that this deck kind of gets itself to the late game. Because you can suit up a Leaf Crown Dryad and make it pretty tough to deal with if you get like a Baleful Eidolon on it or whatever. All right, Savage Surge, Feral Invocation, Opaline Unicorn, no. We already have a Ferris Band Centaurs here. Artisan Sorrow. So none of these are really in play except for the Invocation and the Savage Surge. So do we want the cheaper but less permanent combat trick that lets us maybe get a removal out of it, or do we want just the permanent Feral Invocation? I think I'm going to go for this. I usually go for the cheaper one, but having the thing stay on there is pretty impressive. Wow. Nice. This is a sweet pickup, Nylea's Emissary here. I like that. Our 4s are getting a little stacked up, but I'll take it. All right, so we did wheel the Scourge Mark here. Probably will end up playing it as well. Been having a lot of success with this format. I've been on 3 consecutive weekends of all right, there we go, of coverage gigs, and when we're out there, we do coverage drafts all the time. I mean, all of us on coverage just love to draft, so that's all we really want to do ever. And so we just do nonstop drafts. So at the Pro Tour and at the GPs when we're not on the air, we'll do coverage drafts. So I've gotten to do a ton of drafts, and I've done a couple since I got home from Grand Prix Louisville as well. And I've just been on a tear. I kind of found my groove with the format early and have kind of stuck to it. And yeah, I've been enjoying it a lot. I mean, I think that it's tempting to enjoy formats that you win at, and I kind of think that's what's happening for me now. I mean, I think this format's cool, but man, I think I'm just winning a lot, and that makes it a lot more fun. All right, Warriors lesson number 2 or March of the Return number 1. Wow, Dragon Mantel's still there too. I guess I'll take this Warriors lesson. It's harder to pick up at Uncommon, and I don't know that we're going to run 2 of them. It kind of depends on how many creatures we end up with, but there's a chance. Might not play this Burnished Heart either. It's not really doing a ton in our deck currently. All right, here's the March of the Return. I like that better than the... yeah, we definitely got the March of the Return hookup. Than the Wanderer. I think that card's just garbage. Like, I tried to imagine some scenarios where I'd bring it in, but I always just find stuff I'd rather have than it. I mean, like Sedge Scorpion, for example, is like infinitely better than that card. All right, we didn't get the Mender back, which is a bummer. It's also not unexpected. Like, I didn't expect to wheel it, but I did think that there was a decent chance. I'd say there's a 35% or 30% chance or something, because those gold cards, whoa, all right, yeah. I've been trying to run the new client again, but I've been having some issues. That's why you guys have seen me go back to the old one, because this has been happening where it's been crashy and kind of gets laggy for me. So I'll stick with it here again, but if it screws up again, I'm done. And I'll go back again. I mean, it's still in beta, so I like to try to keep up with it and still use it. But if it doesn't work, I'm not using it. Speaking of not working, where's our picks? So it says that our last card picked was an Afara's Warden. So I think that we've now missed. Yeah, we missed pack 3, pick 1. So, so frustrating when that happens, because I mean, that's a huge pick, right? Like, that's a very big portion of the draft, and we're gonna have to we don't know what we missed out on, and we got a card that's just stone unplayable in our deck. So hopefully we'll be able to salvage it. I mean, the reality is that it's frustrating, but ultimately, like, any one pick isn't going to dictate the draft for the most part, but still, like, come on. Pack 3, pick 1 is huge for us. Huge, huge, huge. Because by the time you get to the third pack, that's when you know what you need, right? That's when things start coming together for you as far as, like, well, these are the cards that I need to fill out the rest of my deck, and you can do that. All right, so let's move on here. Blood Toll Harpy would make the cut. Time to Feed would make the cut. Horizon Chimera probably would. I mean, we could probably find a spot for it. Same with Disciple. Ooh, Heliod Emissary. I like that one. And there's another Disciple of Phoenix. I could also just take this Temple of Abandon. I don't know what that thing is going for. Let's find out here. Got to be value conscious when you're drafting on Magic Online. Yeah, it's only worth about a ticket. So it's a take it or leave it. Like, it's not that it's bad. I'm going to take Time to Feed, actually. I think we need some more removal here. We have essentially none. Ooh, there's a Hopeful Eidolon. I like that card a lot. But yeah, another Time to Feed seems perfectly appropriate here. All right, here's a Centaur Battlemaster and a Vulpine Goliath. Between the two, we would take the Battlemaster in this deck. Kind of not remotely close. Got to look up Temple of Mystery here, though. Everybody has a different threshold for what they would take as far as rares go. This one's worth about a ticket as well, so I'm going to take the Battlemaster. For me, it's usually about 3 tickets, which is approaching a full booster pack when I kind of must pick. Maybe not must pick, but when I tend to just say, like, yeah, we're just going to take it. But I'm going to take the Battlemaster here, especially after our 2 Time to Feeds and 2 Warriors lessons. Like, that looks a lot better. Fade into Antiquity. Let's take Rescue. Yeah, let's take Rescue. I think we can maybe make that work with our Phoenixes, Disciple of Phoenixes and such. Not a ton here. probably just going to take either Agent of Horizons or Fade into Antiquity. Maybe I just do this. Yeah, I'm just going to take the Agent of Horizons. Here's another one. And really nothing else anyway. So, yeah, we'll take it. I like that card. I think it's fine. Even if you can't activate it, it's okay. Probably play one of these Warriors Lessons. Deck looks okay, though. I wouldn't call it amazing, but it looks pretty good. Agent of the Fates is going to be a card that if we draw that, then things are going to go really well for us, and if we don't, it could get a little ugly. I like this Blood Toll Harpy here. Satyr Piper's just too clunky to really be decent. And Cutthroat Maneuver's okay in some matchups. I mean, it is actually worth looking at in this deck. Centaur Battlemaster, Agent of the Fates is certainly a thing that we'd like to Cutthroat Maneuver here. But I think I'm going to leave it to the Scourge Marks, because this is a very clunky combat trick. 4 mana is just like, ugh, so rough to leave that up. So I'm going to take the Blood Toll Harpy here. Goliath or Fellhide Minotaur? Which one do we need more? I think we want the beef here. We've got a ramp spell too with the Voyaging Satyr. Ooh, Disciple number 3 or the Horizon Chimera. We just don't really have a way to get an island into the deck currently, even though I really would like one. So I guess I just take the Disciple here, which is a little sad, but... Helm, definitely Guardians here. Not going to main deck it. We're looking to beat down. But that's a good card against certain cards that your opponent can play. I guess this is the one that's most likely to make the cut. As is this one. This one would actually be pretty decent in our deck. Yeah, so I will never know what that pick that we missed was, unfortunately, but looks like our deck came around pretty decent anyway. All right, so let's see what we're looking at here. Yeah, I like how this came out. These Disciple of Phoenixes are going to do a good job at tearing our opponent's hand apart. And that's those are really good with Scourge Mark as well, because you can just kind of get them up to the 2-3 level, and then they can start beating down. Just the thing that I think you have to remember for Theros is that, yeah, a 1-3 isn't that impressive, especially for 4 mana. And you get the card out of it usually, so that's good. But the key that really occurs to you after you play for a while is that just having anything on the battlefield so that you can bestow, just having stuff is really good. And in our deck, with our Warriors Lesson here, we can kind of go off a little, like attack with all my Disciples and my bigger creatures. And Disciple of Phoenix, can get in with Warriors Lesson and draw us a couple of cards, because it's a little bit tough to block. I mean, it's a 1-3. It's their 2-2s and their 2-3s can block it, but not profitably. And if you're attacking with a bunch of creatures, well, it can get kind of ugly for them. So, all right, so we're at 27 here, though. We definitely need to cut down a bit. So let's see what we're looking at. We've got 17 creatures, which is close to where we want to be. We've got a lot of different ways to target stuff, and that's what we really need to... I think I'm going to cut one of these agents, because it's just going to be a 2-3 or 3-2 in our deck. Rescue from the Underworld... not you. It's definitely one that we are going to consider not playing here. I mean, I like it. I think it's a good value card just to, kind of go off with our 1 Gray Merchant and our Disciple or whatever. Just get something back. Like, it lets you trade off Agent of the Fates for something on the ground that they didn't think you were going to trade with, and then buy it back later, which is sweet. And we've got some big spells here too. But overall, we need to make some cuts here. And I kind of like the idea of targeting our guys more than just trying to set up some kind of obscure bring them back situation. So I'm going to cut it for now. But let's take a look at the cards that we have that target our creatures. We've got Savage Surge, Scourge Mark ×2. The Viper's Kiss, I'm not going to put in that. What did I do? There we go. 2 Time Defeats, a Feral Invocation. This does technically, but I'm talking about just cards that target. All right, so that's what we have. So we've got quite a few here, really. And I think we could probably use a little bit of cutting down on this. I'm going to keep both time defeats in because they're just kind of necessary to how our deck's trying to operate. And we can get some pretty serious work done with those as well once we get into the beefier guys here. I mean, time defeat on Nemesis Immortals, Vulpine Goliath, Nessian Asp, Centaur Battlemaster is basically just straight removal. And even combos decent, I think, with Agent of the Fates, because you can time defeat, make them sack something, and then have it fight something else and kill it because it has Death Touch. So that's pretty sweet. We've also got a Sedge Scorpion that in a pinch can time defeat away something. Not ideal play, obviously, but it's okay. So I think I'm going to cut this Viper's Kiss, and I'm going to try to run the deck like this. We've got these Scourge marks to go through for big game. Warrior's Lesson number 2 is a consideration, but, you know, it doesn't affect combat, right? Like, this is not a card that makes your creatures bigger or better in any way. It doesn't kill your opponent, and having 2 of them in your hand, if you don't have an attack, you're just dead. I mean, that's like just having 2 complete blanks in your hand, and that is a situation that I don't enjoy. But I do like the upside on it, so I'm going to keep it in there. And I think we're just going to run it like this. I could be convinced to run 18 lands for this deck, but I think that we can kind of plod along and get a little bit of a velocity out of like a Scourge mark to try to, you know, kind of keep things moving as far as card draw goes. So let's add some basics here. Magic Online, what say you? You say 9-8. You're probably right, though. Let's see, early green and then heavy black. Yeah, this seems fine. Because we really want to hit like this guy and this guy early. Like those are key cards that we really do need early in the game. All right, so let's submit this thing and we'll see what it can do.